Two people, same job, same experience, but one gets paid more than the other. Why? Because of the nationality. Now, Dubai's job market could be rigged, but here's why I don't care. But first, I've got to tell you a little bit about this place. Chapter 1, it's not what it used to be. Many families, including mine, came to Dubai in the 2000s and even earlier just in search of a better life. Now, good salaries and a private sector workforce that was mainly made up of expats provided opportunities for work and growth, and many people, including my family, made a fortune and built something great. To be honest, I personally don't think I could have ever had this degree of privilege that I have and the growth had it not been for the decision that my parents took to come to this country. And with my mom near retirement, she's definitely done the best she could in being able to provide for her family and for myself for years to come. Now, while we see more and more people flock into the UAE, it's not what it used to be. Rising cost of living, rents, and disparity in salaries, and preferences and opportunities are now worse than before. So the main question is, what's happening? Now, in 2023, the ministry announced Emiratization targets in the private sector with the aim to get 75,000 local citizens enrolled in the next 5 years. Now, this meant increasing Emiratization rates from 2% to 10% by 2026 across companies with 50 or more employees. Now, in the UAE's defense, this was a great move. They've been very protective of offering passports to other people for a good reason, because they really look after their own. From business ownership privileges, social security, subsidized utilities, pensions, housing grants, university scholarships, Emiratis have it really good. But instead of living the good life and just sitting back while the expats got all the fame and recognition for major developments, it was in the UAE's best interest to start enabling their own people to be leaders and enablers and faces for this development. But the problem really is in talent and the capabilities. Now, companies are having to incur way more cost to incorporate Emiratis, which would significantly be more expensive than what they would have to pay South Asian workers or someone similar for the same set of skills. And in many of these Emiratization hires, a lot of people still lack the skills to get the work done and are just given dummy roles while the real work is still outsourced to contractors who just kind of work in their shadows. Which brings me to, how do you beat the system? The system isn't fair. It never was. But sitting around and complaining, well, that's a losing game, and I'm not playing that. Because success isn't about where you start, it's about how you adapt. Now, there's a few things that I would recommend if you want to come to this country anew and you want to start a life over here, whether that's from India or any other South Asian country. And if you really want to explore opportunities here, there's a few things worth having in mind. Firstly, having a South Asian dialect can work against you, not because you're bad, just because of the stereotypes around it and our association with scammers to think that foreign accent means superior. And whether you like it or not, that's very prevalent here in this country. And because of that, it's led to many South Asian businesses getting slightly smaller project codes. And it's not for all the cases, but it is prominent. And there's this perception that these Western-led businesses are far more premium, even when the service quality and delivery is the same. It's just the optics of it. Which brings me to the two solutions that you can use, the way I see it. The first is you come back to Dubai with a passport from another country, which means you leave as an expat and then you go to a country like the UK, Australia, or the US, or Canada, and you come back with a passport. I know US is a far stretch, but it is what it is. And if you can't do that, you do option number two, which is you partner with someone who's Western looking just for optics. And here's kind of why that works, right? So when you have a Western European person on your portfolio next to, whatever services you do, it sort of instantly increases your perceived value, and your proposals all of a sudden are just taken far more seriously in big corporate and government deals, especially when they sit with you and tend to be client facing, because it's never been about the skills. It's literally just about psychological branding in this part of town. Now, apart from all this, there are a few things you can do while you're staying in town to kind of tilt the scales in your favor, whether that's for a job or whether you're running a business. Step number one is try your best to fake an international accent. And the best example I have is one of my mates, Avi. He's Indian born, went to a school called Cambridge. And they don't even speak the best English there. Those guys aren't the smartest bunch in the lot. But this man somehow could fake a foreign accent so well. Like, this guy looked like he just walked out of Manchester. And because he was in a sales role, he'd literally pick up the phone saying, "Hi, this is Avi." And all of a sudden, boom, close after close, ended up building a lot of rapport with people and did really well in his job. And the best part is that clients don't even question it, because in their heads, it's like Western means more credibility. Apart from that, you've also got to build a strong network. Dubai is not a meritocracy, it's a who you knowocracy. Basta, baby. All comes down to that. You could be insanely talented, but if you're not in the right rooms, it really doesn't even matter. There are so many people who are far less talented, but just know the right people who've managed to tilt those skills in their favor. Essentially, if you read a book called How to Make Friends and Influence People and literally apply everything else you learn in that book, along with 48 Laws of Power and the game, you should be good. Trust me, I'm in the process of doing that myself. Works a lot. The second is learning Arabic, especially within the content creation field, because if you're an expat who can speak fluent Arabic, you instantly command a lot more respect in the job market and in the business market. And even knowing some degree of basic Arabic makes sense. Emirati clients and employers take you far more seriously because you've got that extra value add. And as someone in the content marketing game, being able to show Arabic content really positions me in a better way and helps me stand out. And being able to do that with a mix of knowledge about the language along with the right AI tech stack does add to my advantage and gives me a little bit of a competitive advantage around other people playing the same game. Then there's personal branding, right? The people who are getting the best jobs aren't actually applying for them, and that's one thing I learned. They're being approached and headhunted. So make sure you share your work, your achievements on all these relevant platforms, whether that's Instagram and LinkedIn, and build a rapport with people, in your field. So kind of isolate them as the fishes that you want to target, what lake they swim in, and what bait you're going to use to sort of network with them. The main thing you have to remember is that if you look like an industry expert, people will treat you like one. I'll be honest, at the end of the day, I don't care about any of this. The system is the system. Your passport might decide where you start, doesn't decide where you end. Greatness, if you're good enough, the world will make room for you. If you want some more unfiltered content on Dubai, like, share, subscribe, do your thing, and I'll see you in the next one.